Hi, welcome back to the In Between. My name is Camille. We are learning about the helpers. These are the supportive energies and archetypes that walk alongside us and are available to us during times of change, uncertainty, and rebirth. And as we learn about them, we're also reminded that we can call upon them, and we should, so that we can have a greater relationship with the helpers and invite them in to assist us when we most need that kind of support. Today, I want to talk about the weaver. This is a great helper because it brings super important information to us while we are navigating transformation and change. The weaver reminds us that we are weaving our future with the thoughts we think, the stories we tell, and the decisions that we make. That this future that we long for, this future that has not yet come into form or even come into focus, is not something distant and separate from us that arrives, but something we are partnering with, something we are in a co-creative process in, something that we're weaving the tapestry of, even while we are moving from what was to what will be. Even though we're in between an ending and a brand new beginning, how we're moving through the in-between eventually weaves the tapestry for what is yet to be. In the new design model, we are the architect. In the new design model, we accept, we embrace our role as the creator of our lives. In the new design model, we have burned our victim cards. We are not at the mercy of fate. In the new design model, we take full responsibility for the creation of our lives. And that is what the weaver reminds us of. As you're moving through change, uncertainty, chaos, overwhelm, and all that is there for us when we're in times of transformation, whether the change has been imposed upon us or whether we initiated it, the weaver reminds us to question what it is that we're saying. Are we still weaving a story of the victim? Sometimes we are. Lots of times I was still speaking like a victim, even though I was chanting and confirming that I was the creator. That's because the victim program is so entangled and calcified in our own programming that it can take a little bit of time to pull that stitching out. That's why curiosity, compassion, and simply being gentle with yourself during this time is super important. I mean, okay, so you're still talking like a victim, but now you have the awareness that you are. Now you're using that as an opportunity to dive more deeply into that story so that you can unravel it and weave again. The weaver reminds us that we are the architect of the tapestry of our lives. Sometimes we do have to unravel everything and decide what tapestry we actually want to weave now. Sometimes you have to pull out a little stitching, let go of this friendship, let go of that habit, in order to weave something that is more in alignment with who you say you want to be and who it is you are becoming. The weaver is a great gift because it helps us take a really close look at this idea of alignment Are we weaving the same thread that matches how we want to feel, how we want to think about that feeling, and how we're speaking about the thinking about that feeling? If not, where is the weaving off? Where is the thread going off the pattern? Is it in my action steps? Am I weaving alignment with my feelings and doing a pretty good job of thinking that way, but my habits or my actions haven't yet converted in a way that aligns it with all the other parts of myself? Maybe it's mental. Maybe you're feeling feelings that are now the core feelings you've decided to live your life by. And maybe a lot of your actions are actually weaving congruency with how you feel, but you're still struggling with those mental thought patterns that keep tapping you on the shoulder and trying to distract you and get your attention. The weaver is such a beautiful helper because it takes us from the front row and puts us all the way in the back row, where not only we can see the tapestry we were weaving, but we can see the tapestry we are weaving, and we can use it as a way to see if the tapestry we ultimately want to live in, the tapestry of our lives, the colors of that tapestry, the threads. What are the threads? How we speak, how we think, how we act, and how we feel. By being in that back row and seeing the full tapestry, it is so powerful. It's just like if you go to the museum and there's a beautiful piece of artwork or a collage or tapestry. You get very close. You get up close. You really want to see the details. The weaver says, that's a good idea. Get super close. Look at the details of your thinking, of your feeling, of what you're saying, the stories you're telling, your actions. Are they all in alignment? And then sometimes we got to take a few steps back so we can take in the whole piece of art. We can take in the whole painting. We can take in the more comprehensive view of the tapestry. Whatever it is, whenever it is, whatever phase that you may be in, the weaver is there to remind you that you are the architect of your tapestry. You are finally the co-creator of your life. Your words, your actions, your feelings, how you want to live, all of it are the threads that are weaving the tapestry that one day you will live. But today, we know it as our future. So weave with intention, weave mindfully, and if you have to pull out all the stitching and start again, do it. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.